Okay, we're live. Um, Welcome back to JVM Football Channel, guys. Just a live stream. I'll probably start doing these more. Probably do a live stream on Saturday, pretty much every week now, about around this time, 10, 11 a.m. And the purpose of this live is just to really look at the transfers this summer and see where we are. Today, we're going to talk about Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Sanchez to PSG, and how I feel about that, and then Tottenham as well. And let's start with Manchester United. I think that everyone would agree that Manchester United need to make things happen this summer. Getting in Ten Hag is good, but if United are serious about challenging next season, or if they're serious about this rebuild, then they have to invest this summer, get in the right players, listen to Ten Hag and what he wants, what, look at his playing style, and try and find the players that are going to fit that model, and probably look at different methods of recruiting. United are quite famous for going for the big name players, the players that you know are either big right now or were big before, and are now looking for a new challenge or possibly looking to retire in the games of Manchester. That just sounds bad. That just sounds bad for a club of the caliber of United to be in this situation. Just not good enough. But yeah, if they can find a new recruitment strategy, and the signing of Malacia, which I'll get to in a moment, is kind of that breath of fresh air, a young player that Ten Hag identified and that Manchester United went and signed, hijacked from Lyon. It's good to see that. It's good to see that Manchester United looking at these young players, getting deals for cheap, a player that they can develop from within. Okay, Manchester United. Yeah, Let's start by talking about Malacia. I think the Malacia is a great signing, uh, but I don't know if a lot of people are going to agree with this. Although he is a great talent, a great player, I find that signing a bit, let's say, useless right now. Manchester United do have a fullback problem, and Ten Hag's football in Ten Hag's football, the fullbacks are highly involved. In modern football, fullbacks are highly involved. But for Manchester United to go and spend their money straight away on Malacia, yeah, the opportunity was there. It was for cheap, and he's a great talent, and I'm happy about the signing. But I think there are more urgent matters than a fullback right now. For example, a CDM, second striker. Martial could be that guy for United this season. He could be, but the thing is, could Manchester United cannot into this season with coulds and will be's. There needs to be a clear strategy, a clear plan, and Ronaldo will not. Ronaldo will need someone to be his backup. League, cup games or whatever, coming in when the team is losing in the last few minutes of the game. Cavani's not there anymore, and United will need a second striker. Martial could be that guy. We don't know. He may not be. This will maybe Martial's last season at United. He may not even make it through the summer. But the point is that although Malacia is a good signing, although I think that it is solving a problem that United do have in the fullback position. Now they have three left backs. They need to sell one of those. Probably Tellus will go. I don't really see Shaw going. And still, CDM not solved. Number eight not solved. Centre back not solved. You could say winger. I don't think United need a winger, but they could get a winger. That's still not been solved. And striker still nothing there. So yeah, Malacia, great signing, but they could have done better. Then we move on to Martinez. And with Martinez, I think it's a very interesting, and I'm quite excited for this signing. The thing with Martinez here is that this is, I don't really know much about the guy. I'm not gonna act like I know or that I have watched Ajax play a lot of games this season. But from what I hear of Martinez, is that he can play as a centre back and as a CDM, and that could really be killing two birds with one stone for Manchester United. Um, if you get a player that can play as a centre back when the team need him, and then who can also play as a CDM and free up De Jong, I think that's a bonus. And Manchester United should be going towards that way. Not going for the big names, but going for the players that are going to fill in the holes at the club. And Martinez could really be that guy. It looks like they will be signing Martinez. It looks like they are going to hijack another player this summer transfer window. And yeah, really excited. I'm not going to spend too much time on Martinez again. I don't know much about the guy. I'm excited about the signing. The prospect looks quite good, but let's move on. There's still a lot of stuff for us to get through. And the next signing that I want to talk about Manchester United is Frankie Deyoung. This is probably the biggest one, and I've explained it before in other live streams why De Jong is so important for Manchester United and Ten Hag's football in particular. It is this pine that they are trying to create, or at least that I believe they could create with Ronaldo up front, De Jong, a player that Ten Hag has worked with before in the middle, and then De Gea at the back. De Gea is veteran at the club; he will be captain next season. With De Gea at the back, United have a very, very solid base to begin from. You have Ronaldo, if you don't think Ronaldo is the best player in the world, you have to at least agree that he's the second best in the world, one of the best one of the best, probably the best goal scorer of all time. And then if Ten Hag can get his player in the middle of the pitch in a position that United have lacked for such a long time, again, things could really begin to go the way he wants to for next season. In my opinion, De Jong is a very talented player. I think that he's up there with some of the best ball progressors in the game. He's not quite there defensively, but again, the sending of Martinez could probably solve that. De Jong is a great, great player. But the thing of United really is they're dragging this. Yes, they shouldn't spend just whatever Barcelona throw at them, but just get the deal done. Get De Jong in with the team. Get him training with the team. Preseason games are going to start soon. Just get the guy in now quickly, man. It's no time to waste. There's other signings that United need to go through. Again, I'll repeat: striker, number 8, Pogba's gone. Centre back, Maguire's not that guy. Varane is injury prone. Lindelof is good, but we know his weaknesses. Fullback, they did sign Malacia, so that's good, I guess. And just get everyone in and let's start training. Let Ten Hag work, you know. Yeah, but that's it for Manchester United. I think I spent 5 minutes on Manchester United, and there's still another 4 teams that I want to get through. So let's move on. And we're going to Arsenal. And with Arsenal, I'm just going to upload Arsenal. What a transfer window they're having, and they are doing what United should be doing, which is in plugging all these holes that they have. The signing of Vieira from Porto, I've said this in another live, is a great signing. You're signing a player that had 14 assists in Premier League last season, the Portuguese league. You could say whatever you want about the Portuguese league. Oh, it's not good enough. It's not top 5, whatever. The fact that this guy got 14 assists and Arsenal need a playmaker from the middle, and they have gone and done that deal. That's great. Vieira is going to be a great addition to this club, to Arsenal. Hopefully, Arsenal start to perform again. I think that this is one of the greatest clubs in England. So, with the addition of Vieira, is very good. Again, plugging in that hole. And the biggest of all, I think, is Jesus. Jesus is going to be, at least I hope, Arsenal's new go-to man offensively. Aubameyang is gone, and although Martinelli is a good player, he can't place that much of a burden on a player to score that many goals this season, at least. So getting in Jesus is the right move. I think that Jesus has a lot to prove. Not that he isn't a good player, that he hasn't shown that he's a good player, but with City, he was always on the bench. There was always that talk of they don't have a real striker when Jesus was in the squad. I think that was quite disrespectful. And I even said things like that. So apologies to Jesus for that. But now he has his chance with Arsenal. Arsenal need a striker. He is going to be that guy. He'll play 40, 50 games next season, and hopefully he can be quite good for Arsenal. Arsenal also need to start looking into a centre back position. They are getting hijacked by United in the Martinez um, department. Let's say that if they did manage to get Martinez, I think that Arsenal could probably be done in the transfer window. They filled in the striker hole. Jesus, very good. Vieira, a player that got 14 assists last season for Porto, and who's looking to come through in the national team. And then they get in Martinez. If Manchester United don't get the deal done, I think that's a very successful transfer window for Arsenal. And again, this is a club that is building on, and they could perhaps next season look to push towards that fourth place, that top 4, and not bottle it like they did this season. But yeah, even on the topic of that, they did bottle it this year. For them to go from finishing back to back eighth to finishing fifth, that close to fourth place is an achievement of its own. So props to Arsenal for that, and props to them for this transfer window and the run that they've had. It looks pretty good so far. Then we have Chelsea, and with Chelsea really, there's a lot to talk about Chelsea. Let's start with Rafinha. Romano said, I'm going to paraphrase here, as I'm trying to remember what he really said. Chelsea had a deal in principle for Rafinha. I think it was on about Tuesday, but then either yesterday or the day before, I don't know, somewhere between Wednesday and now, Barcelona came in with a bid. It is less than what Chelsea were offering, but at least with Barcelona, it looks like Rafinha really wants to go there. So that's not good news for Chelsea. I don't think that Chelsea need per se a winger that bad. Like for example, Arsenal could do much more with Rafinha. I think that Rafinha would benefit Arsenal much more because Chelsea still have the likes of Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, and was it Havic? Hey, I keep butchering his name, but you know who I mean. Um, so Chelsea don't really need to get that winger winger per se as other clubs need them. But Rafinha would be a good addition to the club. But it looks like Barca are looking to hijack Rafinha. I think that's really what's going on. The transfer window. I think that's the buzzword this year: hijacking. Clubs are just taking place from other clubs and closing in deals left, right, and center. And if Rafinha did go to Barcelona, I think it would go both for Chelsea because they had them so close. Again, they had a deal in principle by Tuesday. Then it looks like the deal has kind of fallen through. How is Rafinha going to perform at Barcelona? Does Rafinha want to take the risk? Because with Barca, with this rebuild with Xavi, could he get more success there or here at Chelsea? A club that is also very close to the likes of Liverpool and City. He went to two finals last year, finished third. It really comes to what Rafinha wants and what his preference is. Can't really speak on that. But yeah, it would be a blow for Chelsea for them to lose Rafinha. I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it again. Lukaku gone. And with Lukaku gone, Chelsea, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm going to say this. They need to get a striker. They do need to get a striker. Who was there? They got rid of Abraham for Lukaku. Lukaku has not performed, and Abraham had an amazing season. Chelsea need to go and get someone. They do need to go and get someone. I don't think Werner he could have that season next year, but it's like you're waiting on Werner every single year for him to come through. Go and get someone else, man. They did that with Lukaku, and he did come up short, but go and get someone else. Lukaku didn't work out. You go rid of him, get someone else. I just want to say that about Lukaku. In the centre back position, they lost Rudiger, and they need to go and replace him. In 2021, Chelsea had probably one of the best defenses in Europe. So yeah, they need to go and strengthen that again. And it looks like Ake could be going to Chelsea. Yeah, and I think that would be a good signing. Ake is a good player, performed well with Bournemouth, has had a development 2 years with City, won two Premier Leagues, knows what it is like to win, what it's like to be in the winning environment. It would be a good signing for Chelsea, Ake would. But I think that the guy that's really coming through is Delict. And I think that Delict would be a much better signing than Ake. Um, for one, just physically, Delict is much bigger, and I think that although Ake, let's say this. Ake's physicality has not been a problem, but I think with Delict, his physicality would be an asset. Also, his Delict ball carrying ability, his leadership. Delict is just a better signing than Ake. If you can choose between Ake and Delict, go for Delict. Get Delict done. If you can, then go for him. If you can get both in, hey, get both in. Even better. But yeah, but if I have to choose between Ake and Delict, it's a no-brainer. I'll go for Ake. I mean, sorry, I'll go for Delict. Ake, good player, but we're talking about Chelsea here. Talking about a team that wants to compete to close the gap between themselves and City and Liverpool. And I think that with the league, they are much closer to achieving that. And then move on to Sterling. Rafinha, deal has fallen through. Like it's kind of the similar situation between the late and Ake. If you have to choose between Sterling and Rafinha, which one would you choose? I'll choose Sterling. Uh, I, Sterling is a player that has not performed as well as he can, as well as I think he can. I want to remind some people of the season that he had with Pep in the early years. Well, let me just pull up his stats. I think he had what 30 goals in the year in the 30 years with Guardiola, and even last year, the way Sterling performed in the Euros, Sterling still has it in him to be that type of player, to be that type of guy. And if he could bring that to Chelsea, it would be very good. He could if he could bring that leadership, that veteran that in him. Sterling is now 27, about to turn 28. He's not old. He's reaching his prime. He's a veteran. He's won 4 Premier Leagues, a bunch of cups, would be a great addition for Chelsea. And again, let's talk about talent wise. And I think it was the 17-18 season. Let me just pull it up quick. Was it 16-17? Which one was it? Wait, 1 second. No, it's 18-19. Yeah, I think it was 18-19. Sterling's golden years. Yeah, I don't think it was this season, but for example, in the 18-19 season, Sterling had 25 goals and 16 assists. So at his best, Sterling is one of the best players in the world. He's a world class player, and if Chelsea could get him in, it would be a great addition on the wing, and especially with this uh, Rafinha deal falling through with Barcelona, they do get him. It was the 1920 season. I say 1920 season, not that long ago as well, when Sterling scored 31 goals and assisted 10 times. If he could be half of that for Chelsea next season, I think that Chelsea do close that gap between themselves and Liverpool and City. Then you also get everyone else to step up as well, step up the game. Look at Mount, for example, this season. I was just filming a video on some of the best players under 25, and they had Mount there. And what was it? 10, 11 goals and 10 assists last season in the Premier League in 30 games played. If you get these young Chelsea players to begin to perform like that, you have Mount, you have Harvard, you have Pulisic. Now you're getting a veteran like Sterling. Chelsea can do it. They can do it. Oh, Werner as well. Let's not forget about Werner. I mentioned him before. You get in these players to start perform like they can perform to the ability that they can, the talent that they can, and Chelsea could be in for a treat next season. Then we have actually I'll talk about that last. Let's talk about Tottenham first. Tottenham and Richarlison. Good signing, but I think that Tottenham have more urgent matters. Sure, Sterling, I mean, Richarlison can play in the wing, he can play up front, but I guess should try and sign a centre back, a different winger. I mean, good signing, good for Tottenham, but it's really one of those signings where you're just like, I guess, good for you guys. Good luck, Tottenham. I don't think Richarlison's going to make the difference next. I don't think he's going to win you a title. I think he's going to have that type of impact. But anyways, good signing, Tottenham, Richarlison, I guess. But yeah, let's move on to something more interesting, and it's Sanchez. Renato Sanchez. I am a big fan of this player, and I really wanted him to come to United, if I'm being honest. If you could get a pairing of De Jong and Renato Sanchez, I think that'd be dangerous. But it looks like he'll be going to PSG. Another team that I would like Sanchez to go to would be AC Milan, especially as they're looking to repeat this season. But I don't think it is happening. It looks like he'll be going to PSG, and I'm gutted because I don't really like PSG. I'm not the biggest PSG fan, but Sanchez is a great talent. I'll probably have to make another like in-depth video on Sanchez and what he's been like over the past few years and where he has been. I'll probably title it "What Happened to Renato Sanchez." Great player, great talent, and yeah, good signing for PSG. Let's do a quick full circle and get back to Manchester United. And this will not be so much about their transfers so far, but more about what this season really means for Manchester United, and in particular, which young players at Manchester United can come through and perform this season. Let's talk Martial. Martial. Anthony Martial, I will say this. If Ten Hag, the great developer that he is, the great coach that he is, if Ten Hag can squeeze the full talent that we've all seen from Martial, that I know I've seen before, Martial scored 20 plus goals in a season. I think that Manchester United will not need to sign a second striker. I don't think Martial will be too happy playing second fiddle, anyways. But second fiddle to Ronaldo is not really second fiddle. Look at Benzema, for example. So yeah, there are a lot of players at Manchester United that I believe will come through this season. I am later on today. I'm going to be making a video on Tony van der Beek, and yeah, it is really going to be around this theme of Ten Hag being the great coach, the apex coach, and who perhaps is going to have a massive impact on these players at the club. With all this talk about the young, I hope that Ten Hag does not forget about James Garner, even if Garner doesn't start games. Even if he doesn't start games, at least put him in the bench, put him with the team. Garner is good enough to at least be a role player, or at least he has shown that he is good enough to at least be given a chance this season. Um, how well he's performed with Forest this year, how he's helped them to get into the Premier League. Pip this. Garner has helped Forest, Nottingham Forest, to get into the Premier League this season, and he was the best player in that playoff game. Get him in, man. Give him a chance at least. Let Garner play in the bench. Let him be in and around the team. Yeah, I'm just excited for these young players and what they'll be able to do next season. Let's also talk about Liverpool and Salah. Salah signed an extension. There was a lot of talk around whether Salah was going to sign or whether he was going to leave. And yeah, I think it's good for the Premier League for Salah to stay. It's good. It's amazing for Liverpool for him to stay. But yeah, Premier League as well. So I have some of the best players. I mean, really most best players in the world. If Salah went for like the La Liga and Mbappe went as well, that's one other conversation. Salah staying at Liverpool is good. Good for everyone, I think. Not very good for the other fans. But yeah. Klopp said something interesting, and I want to reiterate that point. He said that Salah's coming into his prime years, and although these past few years or like past 5 years have been the stuff of legend, the best is still yet to come. And I'll probably double down on that. I think that yeah, Salah still has a lot to show us. This season, for example, he was amazing. I don't know if he's going to quite top that or reach the same level. But with a player of the caliber of Salah, you don't really bet against them. With the consistency and you know performing at the high level that Salah is at, I think the word legend is becoming more and more fitting for Salah. If he continues this for the next, let's say, 4 years, these crazy numbers that he's putting up, 30 goals in a season, 10 plus assists, if he keeps that up, yeah, he's already going to go down as a legend for Liverpool, but I think that his legacy will become greater and greater the more he continues to play like this for Liverpool. Um, let's also talk about what you guys want to talk about Real Madrid. I guess we could talk about Real Madrid. What Real Madrid really is again this core of young players that they're getting in and how they're building for the future again. This is not something I want to really talk about in this live. This is just really transfer windows. I mean, the transfer window and the transfers that are happening this summer. This Real Madrid business will probably require a, a video of its own and an in-depth and it's kind of a documentary on how Real Madrid have gone from losing Ronaldo to being the best club in the world once again in 5 years. That's less than 5 years. It is in 4 years. They've done it in 4 years. Yeah, some of the transfers that are going in right now. Yeah, Malacia, done deal, De Jong, closer. I don't know how many times we'll get that. De Jong's talks getting closer. I mean, I guess just sign the guy, man. Stop wasting time. Oh, Wijnaldum to West Ham. Wow, if Rice stays, that's another player that I need to talk about. If Rice would stay at West Ham, then they could get Wijnaldum in. Wait, this is coming from the Football Fancast. I don't know if it's like legit or just waffle. Yeah, if If this is true, if one of them is looking to go to West Ham and the price stays, then top six may not be too far away for the Hammers. It would be a great signing. Yeah, happy to hear that. One of them to West Ham. Good rumor. Hopefully, it comes true as well. Oh, and with the Rafinha, let's just bring that up. It looks like Rafinha is the one pushing for this move. He doesn't want to go to Chelsea. He wants to go to Barcelona. Again, Chelsea have offered 60 million. Barca are offering 50 million plus 10 million, which is less than what Chelsea are offering up front. But it looks like Rafinha is the one telling his agent to block the talks with Chelsea and push for Barcelona. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, and the rest is really just yeah, it's the rest is just stuff that we've talked about in this live stream so far. I wanted this live to be a bit longer, maybe half an hour. I think I'll end it here, guys. Thank you very much for watching this live. If you tuned in while we were live, if you like this live stream and would like more stuff like this, subscribe to the channel. More videos coming through. Game analysis, football history, individual performances, top tens, tier list, shorts, etc. This is the beginning of something special, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and help me to grow this channel.